Are you thinking about making a move to the Wilsonville area, specifically Villebois? Well, stick around because in today's video, we're going to take you on a neighborhood tour of Villebois and all it has to offer on this beautiful sunny day. And we're going to show you 3 different houses in 3 different price ranges, and we're getting after it right now.
So if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Portland and the greater Portland metro area, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so that you can be the first to know about everything there is to know about living in Portland.
I'm Ann Stewart. This is Erica Hagfirst. We are your go-to gals if you're thinking about making a move to the Portland area. All of our contact information is in that description below, so hit us up, call, email, text. We do it all. We'd love to help you make a smooth move to Portland. Now let's get after it today. So we are walking through the community of Villebois and want to share some information about it. Erica, what can we tell them?
Yeah, so Villebois is kind of based, like the whole idea of this planned community is based off of replicating kind of the European village feel. So it's very walkable. You've got a lot of different styles of homes. There's a ton of parks, very family oriented, and it's just meant to kind of bring people together. There's also a lot of retail space in the area so that you can kind of get your amenities. And then with, aside from the retail space that's located within the community, you're pretty close to amenities in Wilsonville. So the community of Villebois is located in Wilsonville, west side of I-5, so West Wilsonville. We butt up against Tigard and Sherwood, and it's really just this lovely area. The schools are attached to the Wilsonville area schools.
Wilsonville Westland School Districts, which are highly rated.
Super highly rated, which is why you find so many families in this community, because with our prices of homes being so high, they can kind of have a nice cottage style home, which don't generally have a lot of yards, but they have the green space all around them. Tons of walking trails.
And tons of parks. So if you have a family, you can go to myriad of different parks.
And there's a combination of, it's a highly,
they landscape
really good care of the landscaping. So, it's you've got, again, a combination of homes. You've got condos, you've got townhomes, you've got the cottages, which generally, have your garage on the back and then just a little bit of, front yard, and then townhomes as well, and detached single family homes. So the prices in here range from about the 400s if you're getting a condo or an attached home, up into $900,000, maybe even a little bit more depending on the market. So, average age of residents here is, what'd you say, 36?
About 36 years of age. A lot of families.
Lots of families, but you also get a lot of retirees. This is not a 55 and over community. However, it really does suit that community if they're still very active, because very, wide streets, you've got sidewalks,
flat.
Very flat area, so you can get out. We see people walking their dogs all the time. And then there's a real high sense of community. So lots of groups and organizations. Now, unlike some of our other our 55 and older communities, lots of HOAs in here, so.
I think there's around 13 HOAs altogether.
And there is a clubhouse. However, only a certain number of HOAs get to use that clubhouse.
3 of them can use the clubhouse pool.
And this is an interesting community because it was in the planning stage for a very long time. We're talking like late 90s. They were planning this, and it did not start until 2004.
I was actually here in 2004 when they broke ground and started building. So that's.
Obviously then we had the housing, bust. But
the housing bust didn't do too good, but it slowed it down, but they've been in construction for years.
And there still is construction going on. So this is a really interesting community. You have some older homes that, were started and completed in 2004. And, those builders were Arbor and Legend and Costa. And now you still have builders like David Weekley and Taylor Morrison and a few others coming in and adding to the planned community. So it's been definitely a work in progress.
I think they have about 2,400 homes, and I think they're planning on a few more.
I mean, they're always adding to this area. Now, at some point, they'll run out of land and space, but it was definitely a big project. Oregon is not known for planned communities, so this was kind of a new thing for Oregon, and it was received, I would say, overall pretty well. You know, there's definitely a place for this in Oregon. You think of planned communities more, you think of Arizona and Texas.
And all that.
Yeah, but you know, for people who want that sense of community, they want the walkability, they want their amenities. You know, it's almost like a little bit of a downtown Portland out here in the burbs. Wouldn't you say, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, it presents its own community. You know, you have all your amenities locally. There's a Fred Meyer's, there's lots of retail, there's a lot of chain restaurants and services, and a lot of people who live out in Wilsonville pretty much do all their services out in Wilsonville because you're not close to downtown. And just south of Wilsonville is kind of Kaiser and Salem, about, I don't know, 20 miles maybe?
Yeah, 20,
So if you're working or living in Salem, it's also a great place. If you don't want to be or don't need to be close into downtown Portland or the major Portland metro areas, it's a great option. And like we said earlier, it definitely has a family-oriented community sense. They've got lots of playgrounds, basketball courts. The parks, there were too many to count when I was actually trying to figure out.
There's parks
are
everywhere. I mean, it's
everywhere.
kind of
And it's cool because they have a variety of things going on in each park. You know, you can walk to all of it, which is great. If you love walking, all you see around here is people walking their dogs, pushing strollers, just going out for a nice walk. It's flat, which Portland is so tough to find flat communities.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. All the landscaping is mature. They've got park benches everywhere, and every single park in this community, which there are probably a good dozen of them, they all have like their own little activity center. Maybe they have a playground, maybe they have a basketball court, maybe they have a bocce ball court, maybe they have, you know, I heard they're putting in like tennis courts and
pickleball
and dog park type amenities. And by the way, if you're into your dogs, kind of everywhere you go around here, you're gonna see a little station to get doggy poopy bags and garbage cans, which is great. Like the community provides that. And that speaks to kind of what you can get around here, and it's just really great.
It was pretty cool when they were going through the development phase in the late 90s. They did a lot of public hearings and they were getting good turnout. I mean, there was about an average of 80 people coming to these hearings every time they would do one. And they really listened to the community in terms of what they were wanting. And so, you know, like the dog parks were definitely a big thing in terms of, you know, making sure that people had space for their pets, because like we said, a lot of these homes don't have big yards at all.
Yeah.
You know, and that speaks to a lot of people, especially the families who need that time to take their kids to sports or to do other things. You know, they don't want to be maintaining, but the community does a really great job. And then you're close to a lot of other things, you know, so you're super close to wine country.
Yep.
There's nature parks. Me being an equestrian, there's a lot just out, you know, Wilsonville Road, which is kind of the main feeder through Wilsonville.
Yep.
There's a big equestrian park out there for, you know, 6 weeks of shows every year. And it's just a really great central location if you're not wanting to be close to the city.
Yeah, and it is considered the burbs. I mean, it is a big subdivision, a big planned subdivision.
Yeah.
There are other subdivisions in Wilsonville, but they're much older. So this is kind of considered newer, even though it started in 2004.
Yeah.
And it's been going on for the better part of the last decade or more. And yeah, it's just a really great community. And there's like tons of variety of housing. Like there is apartments if you need to rent. There's row houses that are connected, condos, single family homes, kind of carriage houses. And yeah, there's just kind of a variety of prices too, so people can get in at different affordability options. But what we'd like to do next is take you on a tour of 3 different homes at 3 different price ranges, so you can kind of get a feel for what you can get. Here we are walking up to a fully fenced dog park, fairly newly put in. There's a smack dab view of Mount Hood off in the distance. There's a little covered area because obviously we're in the Pacific Northwest. There's areas to sit, both covered and uncovered. And there is also a little area that you can put your doggy bags in the garbage. And it's got kind of a couple different areas. So I'm imagining that if you have a shyer or smaller dog who doesn't want to be around the big dogs, you can kind of separate out the two, which is super smart. We're starting to see that more and more in the newer dog parks that they're putting in Portland. But yeah, there's just like an area for all the different dog parks or dogs to enjoy themselves. This one obviously doesn't have anybody here today, but this is at the further end of Villebois, and it's just a really nicely laid out, well thought out dog park that you can take your dog to. And there's even like a little inner area as well. So one of the many benefits of living in the Villebois area. Here's one of the watering spots for your dog, as you can take him to this dog park that's in this part of the neighborhood.
So we are walking up to the next home. This one is listed at $800,000 in Villebois. And this is one of the OGs. So this was built in 2005 by Arbor, one of the original builders in the neighborhood. It does have access to the pool and community center. And the homes that were built here, I feel like in the original phases of Villebois were quite luxurious. And so it's got a really good sized yard, and it's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 3,157 square feet. You know, vaulted ceilings, a lot of high-end touches were placed in these homes. So you can sip your coffee and look outside, very stately exteriors, really kind of over-the-top master suite, and just the epitome of suburb living.
And even though you have a good sized yard on this, which is not common, like to have this size of yard, right across the street, you have a park. So again, you have open spaces that you can utilize.
There's so much green space in this area that when you're driving through, it really does feel like you're in such a well-manicured park. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of the draw about Villebois, is that, you know, there's always maintenance being done. Like, this place is pristine all year round.
Yeah.
And so if that's something that, you know, matters to you, and being in a very well-manicured, well-cared for, up-kept neighborhood, this could be a place for you, because there's a lot of different aspects to it. So, you know, on one side of the road, we have these detached single-family homes that, you know, have their own yard and, you know, or I guess you want to say family-oriented, or, you know, spaciously oriented. And then on the other side of the street, you have the carriage home, where, you know, things you open up here and stay in the super yard. So really just an excellent, you know, area of the community, but, you know, beautiful homes. You really get a lot. The Arbor homes were a great build for any, or, you know, saying that's good things about them. And
It would remind me of the east side of town, like scooters.
yes.
And in fact, as we're walking out here, I'm looking, I'm like, gosh, this reminds me of like Eastmoreland, you know, some of those older homes that they brought them, you know, obviously to modern times, but it's just beautiful.
And it really is, you know, if you go back to like the kind of the how these play community was, you know, kind of designed to remind you of a European village, a lot of these exteriors do have that really like European feel to them.
Yep.
Lots of brick, you know, lots of fake stucco.
Filled on there. You know, like if you look at the houses, there's just that detail that you don't really see too much anymore, and you think and like see it to people in the hall. Everybody loves their doors, and literally I feel like I'm kind of walking through older homes but modern. So
Yeah.
great.
And, you know, again, just a testament to this neighborhood. I mean, these sidewalks, some of these streets are so wide. So, you know, lots of area for runners, walkers, people with their dogs, strollers.
Yeah,
You know,
landscaping. I mean, beauty. It's
you
awesome.
feel like you're in nature, but then you're still so close to things, and you have all your amenities at your fingertips. So
So we're standing at property number 2. This one you can get for about $650. You can actually get, this is like a carriage house. You can get these types of carriage houses starting in the 600s. This one is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and is just a hair over 2,000 square feet. And it has over $40,000 in upgrades, which is great. And you're really close to the Lowry Primary School. So if you want to be able to easily walk to the primary school, it is literally right down the road from here. And this is a great option if you're looking for a house in the $600,000 range.
and you don't want a lot of yard maintenance.
Which is what carriage homes mostly are. That's what we call them, carriage homes.
Exactly.
Property number 3 is a single level home, main level, which is highly, highly sought after. We talk about it all the time in our videos to find one level or main level living. This one is in Villebois. Villebois mostly has 2 stories, so this is unique. It's listed at $732,990. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, 2-car garage, 1,897 square feet. But the most unique part of this whole property is the backyard. Check it out. It is level, it is large, and it is ready for you to do all the things you want to do to it. Yes, it does tend to back up to a little bit of a busier road, but it's far enough away that you could easily add privacy. And it's just waiting for somebody to get back there and add the landscaping or the fire pits or, gardens or whatever you want to do back there. It is hard to find a 1 level with this kind of lot in a new construction area. Thanks for joining us today as we toured Villebois community neighborhood and 3 different housing options for you to explore. There are a lot more housing options available in this community. So if you're interested in learning more or you're trying to make the move to the Portland metro area, reach out to us. All of our contact information is in the description below. Let's jump on a phone call and help you make a smooth move to Portland.